Welcome to Center Ground, your home for unfiltered discussion, where we tackle today's most talked about topics, break down current events, and give our take on the internet's latest foolishness. Tune in and let's find some common ground. Let's get this party started.
Welcome back to the Center Ground podcast. I am your host, Bootsy. All right, I wanted to holler at y'all today. I saw this video and it caught my attention. It actually just came out not too long ago. I think an hour ago, believe it or not. This is at Hype, right? It says Aries Spears goes at Lisa Jones on why she's single, loud, and unattractive. Now, this is a topic I wanted to talk about, but I didn't really watch any content on exactly. Well, I heard some of what she said, but I've been focused on other things. I'll just say that. So I didn't really pay it much mind. And then it seems to be popping back up. But you can look at this lady and see why she's single. You can listen to her and see why she's single. And it's crazy to me why it's so obvious to some of us, but it's not obvious to her or some of the women around her. So I am curious to hear what Aries Spears had to say about it. Being a comedian who often says inappropriate things, I think there's going to be some levity in what he's saying, but I also think there's going to be some truth. So let's get this one popping. I want to see this one. It's only 7 minutes long, so this should be a short one.
Reporting live from Ivers Club in Atlanta for Comedy Hype News, I'm John Appa.
I don't understand why you wouldn't want a woman like me. I am successful, I'm rich, I can fight. I'm sick of men.
Doesn't she sound like a man, though? That's what women like in men. This isn't rocket science. She's loud. She's brash. She's arrogant. That's not what men like in women. But see, this is just that was 10 seconds because his intro was on. So that's just 10 seconds. And I already can see her problem. That was easy. It's crazy how they can't see it. But let's continue.
And telling me, oh, well, you hardcore. Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
What you bringing to the table? I am the table.
She kind of looked like Predator in that freeze frame. That's how I was trying to catch it. Right? But it's like, what part of that was attractive? Like, seriously, not being mean, not saying anything about her physical look, but what part of what she said was attractive to any man? And it seems like the only type of men that would like stuff like that are men who want to be dominated. And those men are kind of strange to me.
A big conversation for people online is the world of dating and relationships. It appears to be one of the goals many have in their lifetime, to meet a person so special that they want to share the rest of their life with them. Unfortunately, some don't find the ultimate partner until later in life, and for others, they keep searching. Leslie Jones recently made headlines after visiting the Kelly Clarkson show to catch people up on her latest. And there, the SNL alumni would open up about her current dating life. At one point in the conversation that has now gone viral, Jones would sound off on being single and will call out why she's single despite having success and having great qualities about herself. Now, several online users and notable online commentators would instantly chime in to share their thoughts on why the 58-year-old comedian may be struggling at finding the one.
Damn, she's
Many
58?
instantly point out Jones's lack of femininity as one of the main reasons. Now, a part of the conversation, fellow comedian Aries Spears would also add his 2 cents on why Jones continues to struggle in finding a man. Over on his Instagram page, he would post 2 videos and captions seemingly calling out Jones's flaws. For his first post, Aries would say, "Yes, because that's what men want, a woman who is loud, aggressive, and can fight."
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, most men don't want loud women. Most men want peace. You know what's the disruption of peace? Loud noises. Like, we don't want all that. Like, this should not be rocket science. And I think if young women still had fathers in their home, they would have learned this in their youth. Men don't like that. Stop it.
And let's not say the part we're all thinking. Now, a part of this video share, a woman would chime in on Jones's response and even went on to call out Jones's hurt.
I'm rich, I'm successful, and I can fight. What about that would be attractive to a masculine man? And she wants a masculine man. Masculine men who want to provide and want to protect, they do not want to be in competition with the woman that they are trying to provide and protect. You can see the hurt in her eye. You can see her body language. She really wants a relationship. But she doesn't understand that the reason why she can't find the type of man that she wants is because that's the type of man that she is.
From the looks of it, this moment with Jones would trigger Spears so much that he would go on to post it again 3 days later, with another caption that would go on to say, "Yes, every man just watched this and got hard, especially when she screamed, 'I am the table.'" Over in his comments, others would chime in. One user would write, "Listen ladies, a man doesn't need us to come with big energy. He's already got that handled. Our real power is in our feminine energy, and we've got to learn how to lean into that. And men, y'all have to create the space for us to actually flourish in it.
We don't have to do it.
I'm still
That's the part of the equation that women keep ignoring. Men don't have to do anything because there's still feminine women out there. There's feminine black women. I don't know why we pretend like black women aren't feminine. There are feminine black women and they don't do any of this nonsense. They don't act like this. So men could just go find a feminine woman. They don't need to do anything for you in order for you to be feminine. In fact, I would argue that all men should ignore women who aren't feminine and who try to put on femininity because those women aren't actually feminine. They act like dudes with a chip on their shoulder, and they usually are problematic.
Still learning myself. I'm learning to sit back, relax, and let my husband lead because he truly has me." It appears that Aries had more to say as he would continue his thoughts in his comment section. He would go on to write, "When you're already unattractive, being loud and aggressive and making monstrous faces and sounds does nothing but enhance your unattractiveness."
Yeah, he's not. I thought he was going to be more like comedic, but he's being honest. And they're going to see him as misogynistic. They're going to say he hates women, hates her, gay, hates his mama, all this other nonsense because they say the same crap over and over again. But everything he said is absolutely true. And it's what I was thinking. And it's what I'm pretty sure most men were thinking. I've learned something in life. And a lot of people struggle with these life lessons because they hurt your feelings. When you're not the most attractive person in the world, you have to make up for it by doing other things. And I've learned that, especially from an unattractive man. He taught me this. He said, I'm not the prettiest mo in the world. So the way that I get around it is I have jokes. I make them laugh. If I can make them laugh, I can get in their pants. That's what he said. Biggie Small said, black and ugly, however, I stay Gucci down to the socks, right? He knew he wasn't attractive, but he knew if he had money, he would get female attention. These are lessons that are taught to young men in life. We don't get the sugarcoating that women get. So oftentimes they live in delusion because they think they can look like her and be any other way, any way they want to be and still get the result. And life continues to show them that it does not work, but they don't seem to be learning those lessons.
Now you're on
And it might be hard for them to learn those lessons because other women love to jump in and protect them from reality. And as long as women keep doing that, they're going to hold other women back. That's a harsh truth that we're trying to teach women. And they're not learning. They're not listening. They're just not. And it sucks because this lady, they said she's 58. I didn't think she was 58. She looks pretty good for 58, if I'm going to be honest. But she's not helping herself with the way that she acts. And the problem is it could be a part of her persona, which doesn't help either. But it's like at some point you have to learn to trade in your job for your family. Sometimes you can't have both. And that's also a lesson they don't like to learn.
attractive in HD. The conversation now sparked by this story touches on a complex situation within the parts of our community because of
it's not that complicated.
In homes and a series of obstacles against those within the black community has now made some black women in particular have to slowly remove layers of their femininity to survive. Now,
no, they
femininity
don't.
can be seen as traits that include.
No, I'm going to reject that. And I hate when people say that. And the only reason why people keep saying it is because it's common theory. You do not have to get rid of your femininity to survive. You do not have to act like a man to survive. You don't. You don't. You don't. Women in the past didn't do it. They were still feminine, even though some of these women were in significantly more harsh situations than y'all are because they didn't have corporate jobs. They didn't have six-figure earnings. They didn't have child support, and yet they were still feminine. So stop with the nonsense because women have had jobs for a mighty long time. And guess what? They came home from a hard day's work and they were still feminine. Y'all are just lazy. unenthusiastic, and don't want to participate in your own success. That's why y'all continue to fail. That's why Leslie is failing.
Gracefulness, gentleness, empathy, humility, and sensitivity. While masculinity, on the other hand, can be aligned with strength, courage, independence, leadership, dominance, and assertiveness. One user on TikTok would explain why some women show their masculinity over their femininity and vice versa.
Because I like to talk about feminine and masculine energy. It's just like a woman. When a woman doesn't feel taken care of, she's hustling, she's working hard, she's deep into her masculine energy, okay?
So that's exactly what I was talking about. That means she's picking and choosing when she is feminine. Stay away from those type of women because their femininity is fake. It's falsified. It's artificial. It's prosthetic. It's not real. She got all the makeup on. If she's talking about herself, I don't know her, but if she's talking about herself, her femininity is fake. Understand that. This is why their relationships, despite when they put it on, still don't work because nothing about them is real. But they still have not learned that lesson either.
When she doesn't feel safe, when she doesn't feel secure.
According to some relationship advice, the two energies of masculinity and femininity work best together because they provide balance, rather than competing with one another.
Absolutely.
So in theory, a masculine man with a masculine woman can bring tension at times. Relationship expert Steven Speaks would explain in an interview the importance of balancing the energy in any given moment between a couple could work as a solution for your relationship.
So, for example, if my partner is in a very heated moment, in her masculine right now, all right, she's getting rough. Well, meeting her with more masculine is probably going to only make things worse. This is the time for me to be compassionate, go to her, hold her, calm her down, bring her peace. We need to balance each other out. Same thing on the flip side. If I'm all heated and I'm extra passionate.
And this is why I don't think these men and these clowns are experts. I don't. I think they're panderers. If your wife is arguing with you and treating you in a harsh manner and yelling at you, screaming at you, your best advice is not to touch her. That's stupid. That's how you get hit. Do not touch that woman when she's mad at you. You know what your best thing to do? Walk the hell away. Walk away. That's the most manly thing you could do. Look at her, especially if she's being irrational. Look at her like, okay, bye, and then leave. That's the best advice you can get. Don't touch these women when they mad at you, unless you like getting hit.
Passionate, my woman now comes with that same energy. That's it. Now we're butting heads. This is her moment to say, let me now be the one to soften the moment up, bring that sweetness in there, and everybody calms down. It's learning how to feed off of each other and recognize, okay, they're over here. Let me bring it back over here. Now we can work from that point and we're both good.
As far as Jones, upon looking at her social pages, she has not yet responded to Spears' comments. Let's talk about it more in the comments below. Do you think more women should lean into their femininity if they're struggling to find love, or should more men step into their masculinity to give them a space to do that?
That's not how that works. And this is why relationships don't work, because we get universal bad advice from a bunch of people who don't understand relationships. The truth of the matter is we don't want women that lean into their femininity. We want feminine women. Big, big, big difference. If you can't tell what those differences are, then you might not be ready for a relationship. It's that simple. And this is why so many people struggle with their relationship, because they get universally bad advice. We've listened to females give that bad advice for so long that now men are starting to give the same terrible advice. Men, get with feminine women, not women who participate in feminine behavior when it's convenient. Women, get with masculine men, not men who want to be masculine when it's convenient. Simple. The reason why people like Leslie failed is because her mother, most likely who raised her, and maybe even her father, failed at teaching her the importance of being a woman. You want to know why so many young men fail? Because their fathers or mothers failed at teaching them the importance of being a man. And I wanted to throw this edit in here real quick because I came across some, updates interim before I had a chance of uploading this video, I came across this video clip of Leslie explaining the relationship that she had with her father and what he taught her about relationships. And you'll see exactly how that correlates to my theories that I recorded a few days ago.
Never had to bail you out of jail. I never had to save your life. I never had to give you money, ever. My dad never had to do that because I always, like you said, kept a job.
Right.
Because I liked money and I liked being able to pay for my own.
Right.
Everybody around me worked.
Right.
My mom, my dad, my aunts, there was no housewives. So when these be talking about what you bring to the table, or are you gonna go 50-50, motherfucker, your parents went 50-50. They brought the checks home and they paid the fucking bills. Stuff you talking about.
Right.
And let me tell you something else. My dad didn't raise me to be someone's wife.
My dad didn't raise me to be someone's wife.
My dad, not one fucking time, and my dad thought I was beautiful.
Right.
My dad not one fucking time said to me, I need you to get married and have kids. Oh, make sure that, my dad never said that. Matter of fact, he told me, I was talking to my first boyfriend, I cursed that motherfucker out. You didn't come and pick me up from work. Are you ignorant?
Right.
What's wrong with you? And my dad was like, woo, wait a minute. You know you can't talk to men like that. I said, I can talk to him however I want to. He want to be with me.
I can talk to him however I want to. He want to be with me.
My dad was like, well, you're gonna have a hard time, I'm telling you right now. And I was like, so that's what you want me? You want me to be saying? He was like, nah, I want you to always make your own money. But if you want a man, you know you're not gonna be able to talk to them like that. I said, well, I'll get the one that make me not talk to him like that. How about that?
I'll get the one that make me not talk to him like that. How about that?
And he was like, you know what? Let's keep on. Let's keep on. He was like, she too old to change now.
She too old to change.
And I mean, I saw all my friends having babies and shit. No.
Simply put, relationships don't work anymore because they are imbalanced. And it's imbalanced because we're not taught properly. And we're not taught properly because our parents couldn't get it together. And our parents couldn't get it together in some cases because their parents couldn't get it together. And they couldn't get it together because there was a financial incentive to keep them apart. I need y'all to understand this from a serious standpoint. There are patterns to these things. There's a reason why people behave the way that they behave. Now, I'm not going to dive deep into it, but I needed y'all to pay attention, and I highlighted 4 direct points. She said that her dad didn't teach her to be a wife. That's first and foremost, biggest mistake he probably made. One of the biggest mistakes he probably made. She then said, I can talk to them however I want. They want to be with me. Is that not how a lot of women in our community think? And it's pure destruction. She then said, I'll get the one who will make me not talk to him like that. Isn't that what a lot of women say nowadays? Well, if he brought out my femininity, I wouldn't act this way. It doesn't work. And finally, her dad said, well, I guess she's too old to change. Mark my words. Her father failed her. It is a parent's job to teach and guide their children on how to make it in life, and now she's on a talk show crying because nobody wants her. Sometimes we put everything on single mothers, and it's not always the mother's fault. In this case, it was clear. It seems like the problem may have been her mother, but the problem was her father. So with that being said, if you guys want me to do a deeper dive into those talking points that she mentioned, because I probably could create a whole video on that alone, but let me know in the comments or via email if that's something y'all would watch. And in the meantime, I mean, come on now, we got to do better. And as parents, if you got kids, teach your children how to be a great spouse to build the community. Stop teaching your kid to be a weak-minded individual who makes money, but everything ends with them because they couldn't build anything. Man, I hope y'all learned something from this. I'll holla at you soon.
Thanks for listening to the Center Ground Podcast. We'll be back soon with some more great content. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on the video. We are a new channel, and growth is essentially our main objective. So send us an email at centerground.pod@gmail.com with any ideas or clips you would like for us to review. This was definitely fun, and I'd say let's do it again. But before you go, always remember, greatness lives somewhere within you. Just make sure you're taking the time to find the key to unlock that greatness. Until we meet again, I'll see you soon.